Greetings, spirit friends, and welcome back to Drinking Out Loud, where we've got a special guest. I've dragged her up from the store downstairs. Welcome to the show, Taryn.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a long time coming.
I guess so.
I've been planning this moment for years.
Years, eh?
That's not true. Many of you will have met Taryn before. She's my regular co-host with the Scotch Malt Whisky Society tastings. In fact, we're co-hosting tomorrow.
It's going to be a good one.
It's going to be great. I should say, tomorrow at time of recording, not at time of release. At time of release, possibly today, maybe yesterday, depending how long it takes to edit this video, which I guess depends on how many screw-ups we do.
Yeah,
let's figure it out.
Okay.
Why are we here today? We're here for the official Dram Association. No, that's the wrong club. Still Explorers. You know, the first Still Explorer tastings we ever did were 2 weeks ago now. It was the tequila tournament. And the amount of times I said whiskey instead of tequila, it's outstanding. Apparently, after over a decade of presenting whiskey tastings, I've kind of got that word stuck in my head.
Crazy how that works.
I know, right? We're not having tequilas or whiskeys today, though. We are having brandies, which is quite exciting. I feel like brandy's got a bit left out with the big relaunch, or launch of this club, rather. Still Explorers, the whole idea was kind of a bit of a malternatives and exploring spirits that maybe are more interesting than you'd thought. And actually, last month we had orange liqueurs, which I thought was a bit of a swerve ball for many people. But our first two tastings were, of course, the tournament of tequilas. Shout out to the winner, Carlejo, who came out of nowhere to win that. It was quite incredible. And the tournament of rums, which Plantation won with their 10-year-old single cask. But huge shout out to the second place, Amroot. Indian rum managed to get second place, and it was a quarter of the price, I think, than the winner, which is quite incredible. And I felt bad that brandies, being like the other of the big three that we plan to feature in this club, didn't get a tasting in. So I think it's about time we gave brandy some love. So we have two very interesting brandies at two very different price points today. Well, not very different, but fairly different. So we'll start off with the Torres 10, which is our free spirit sample this month for November. So you can pop in to the Strath and say hi to Taryn, and she'll pour you if she's there. Also, you know, if you ask nicely and aren't already, drunk, or there's actually quite a few restrictions. But if you're lucky, Taryn might give you a sample of Torres 10, and we're about to explore what that is all about. It doesn't look like we're going to be pausing for a pop because that looks like a screw cap, but let's see if it's got a nice satisfying screw cap sound, shall we?
Uh-oh.
Oh. I'm sorry. That's very... Oh, wow. That is really on there. Let's get the sleeve in. That's, wow. They don't want you to get into this one. Oh, I got it.
There you go.
All right. Wow. That was quite something. It's got a weird, like, turret kind of a thing going on the lid. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but that's very strange. I don't think I've actually ever had a Torres. Have you? No. It's really common. It's very, very popular, especially in Europe, where apparently in Spain you can still get this for like €9, which is outrageous. Just goes to show the cost of importation, and B, the difference of prices in general around the world. But even so, this is not particularly expensive here in BC. It's interesting because it's Spanish. You think of brandy, and most people think straight away France, which is fair. This is definitely French, and we'll get to that later. I'll put it off to one side for now. And that is kind of the place where your mind generally jumps to. But France is not the only place traditionally to grow grapes in the world, and brandy is literally just distilled wine, which Taryn is fast becoming an expert on. She knows way more about wine than I do.
I'm working on it.
You're doing great.
Oh, thanks.
So why not have Spanish brandy, or Canadian brandy for that matter? Or anywhere in the world can make a brandy. It is not a protected term. It's just a style of spirit. All right, so from what I understand, this is a deeper... Oh, wow, look at the colour. This is a deeper style of brandy than you might expect if you're familiar with cognacs and armagnacs. Apparently, this has flavours that you would often find in spirits that have spent some time in some ex-Pedro Jimenez casks, which I'm really looking forward to trying. Let's give it a nose, and then I'll read the bottle.
Oh.
Relatively tame, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not too much going on.
Interesting. We'll see if it opens up with a bit of oxidation. And I'll put the lid on before I start reading the bottle, otherwise I might pour it all over everywhere, which would might make for good YouTube, but I don't want to clean it up. So this says, Reserva T10 Imperial Brandy Desde 1912. So they've been making it since... I don't know why I said 1912. That definitely says 1928, and I read 1928, but it said 12.
That just happens sometimes.
I'm sorry, one sec. I'm going to have some more coffee. Hang on.
Good plan.
That might help. All right. So, an interesting thing. This is Metodo 10 Solera. So, there are many places which will advertise this as a 10-year-old brandy, including the LCBO, the Liquor Board of Ontario. But if you read the bottle and you look at the official website, it doesn't actually make that claim at all. It seems to actually just be the recipe 10. I don't think it's actually 10 years aged. Oh. It's aged, and it says that, and it's actually aged in a Solera system, which means that it's got a mix of a whole bunch of different. So maybe it's like it goes 10 down on the Solera system or something like that. Not sure. Maybe they think the average is maybe around 10. But yeah, it doesn't actually say it's 10 years aged. It just says it's aged, and it's called Torres 10, so people jump to the natural conclusion, I guess. But as far as I'm aware, that's not actually the case. And if it is, it makes the price even more astounding. I should mention that before I forget. This is regularly $36.87, which makes it $33.18 with the 10% discount being a featured spirit right now. Yeah. Torres 10 continues the legacy of Juan Torres, who began distilling the finest grapes in Pendez, Barcelona in 1928, using the traditional Solera method to age his brandy. Thanks to its extraordinary aroma and flavour, it has become the world's most recognised Spanish brandy. And also, not only the world's most recognised, but literally the only one I could name. Perfectly balanced to be served straight or mixed. Cool. All right. Well, let's give it a try. It's so dark.
It really is.
It looks like a Pedro Jimenez.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of tastes like a Pedro Jimenez.
Yeah, it's a little syrupy.
Yeah, syrupy, raisins. That is unlike any brandy I've ever had.
Yeah.
It feels like a brandy where they just gave up distilling it halfway through the second run. And it's like still got sweet wine in it. Mm-hmm. I don't dislike it.
It's delicious.
It's quite good. It's very, very different.
It could be dangerous.
It could be very dangerous. In fact, one of the reviews that I found on this, I think it was on Master of Malta, because I was trying to find other places where it would confirm or deny the whole 10-year-old thing. One of the top reviews was like, good, it's great with Diet Pepsi. I'm like, I could see that.
Yeah, I get it.
But it's honestly quite nice on its own. Mm-hmm. Like, surprisingly so for like a $33 brandy.
Yeah.
Right? I'm shocked at this.
Ooh.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Day.
Yeah, because it is quite sweet, so ice would help. This would be a great summer brandy.
Summer brandy.
Mm. It almost tastes a little cola-y.
I get that, yeah.
Yeah. And I still to this day don't really know what cola tastes like other than cola. Mm. Yeah. What flavour were they going for there? It was originally made with cocaine. Maybe this is what cocaine tastes like. Huh?
Before my time.
Yeah, same. just in case anyone was wondering, I'm not immortal. Well, maybe I am. It remains to be seen. Mm. We can never completely say for sure that we're not immortal.
Yeah. Time will tell.
Odds are not in our favour, but...
This is ridiculously good.
I know, right? I'm frankly shocked. I feel like this is one of those bottles that's been sat there, and I have literally never recommended this to anyone who's ever walked into our store. And I kind of feel bad now.
Yeah.
This is a great alternative to bourbon, I think.
Oh, I see that, yeah.
Throw this in an old-fashioned.
Ooh.
Like, and in a lot of like traditional cocktails, especially those that call for rye and sometimes bourbon, were originally brandy-based. And then at the start of the Second World War, they swapped over to local spirits because they couldn't get European imports.
Makes sense.
Yeah. This is shocking. I've got to say.
I'm a big fan.
Huh. I mean, it's not overly complex, but there is some really good deep flavours. Mm-hmm. There's that molassesy, raisin, cinnamon.
Yeah.
Huh.
A little bit Christmassy.
Yeah, very Christmassy, actually. As much as that sweetness and having it on ice on a summer's day makes sense, it is quintessential Christmas flavours at the same time. This would be the perfect drink to have at a beach barbecue on Christmas Day in Australia. Which is one of my favourite things about Australia.
Yes.
The best thing about Australia, the whole like upside down world thing, New Year's Eve on a beach watching fireworks, like just like swimming in the ocean, in it's warm and you're watching fireworks. Stunning.
That's the dream.
That's the dream. One day we'll find an excuse. We'll have a staff trip to it. No, I can't promise that.
Oh.
Hey, maybe.
Oh boy.
Any Australian distilleries out there that want to sell us a single cask but need us to come over and choose the cask in person, we're listening.
We volunteer.
Or rum. Maybe we'll do a single cask Bundaberg. Seems unlikely. Although, so one of the things I do is check the new listings every week on a Monday morning. It's my favourite thing to do as soon as I wake up every Monday to see if there's any new exciting things in the warehouse. And there is actually a premium Bundaberg available in the warehouse right now, which sounds terrifying. Are you familiar with Bundaberg?
Mm-mm.
It's possibly the worst rum you'll ever have. It has a polar bear on the label. We have a weirdly large amount of Australians coming over for skiing and things that ask for it. There's actually a great comedy song by Richard, I can't remember his name, is a comedy musician from Texas, I think, who does a great song about Bundaberg rum. He describes it as canned hate, liquid venom.
Oh boy.
Yeah, yeah.
That doesn't sound bad.
Yeah, imagine the rum equivalent of extra old stock.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Sorry to the folks at Bundaberg. I feel like we've just completely taken the idea of doing a single cask Bundaberg off of the table. Sorry.
It's all up to him. He's in charge. Take me out of it.
Only for now.
Oh, God.
So, Torres 10, surprisingly good. What happens when we cross the border from Spain and go into the traditional home of what most people would think of as brandies, over to France, and more specifically go for an actual cognac? Well, we're going to rediscover this thing, which, as Taryn well knows, I never know how to pronounce. Apparently, according to the local rep at least, it's Hine. I still think maybe it's Hine, or I don't know. It's definitely not Hine. That's just how I would pronounce it if it was a Japanese product, I guess. Mm-hmm. But probably Hine. We'll go with Hine, shall we?
Yeah, probably Hine.
Rhymes with spine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic cognac. As we both know, we had a bit of an introduction to it recently. And let's have a reintroduction to the H by Hine right now. So first of all, this is a VSOP, a very...
we looked it up the
I know.
other day.
It's one of those things where I always thought it was special, but it was something else, isn't it? It's very... something old pale. Or maybe there was one of the words I always thought was correct, and apparently I've been incorrect this whole time. Anyway, it's a VSOP, whatever that means. Yes. Very something old pale, which means it's like less than 4, between 2 and 4, I think it was.
I think so.
Somewhere along those lines. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it's whether it tastes good. And it's from Maison Fondée in 1763. And that's an interesting story behind these guys, which the local brand ambassador, Emma, did not share with us, because I don't know if she knows about it, but we had limited time. I'll take the Torres out of the way. But yeah, do you want to hear the story of how these guys started?
Yes, please.
So in 1791, Thomas Hine journeyed to France to learn about cognac. He's an Englishman.
Okay.
And at the time, cognac was absolutely, or brandy in general, was absolutely the drink of the English. They loved the stuff. Could not get enough. So went over there to learn about it. Unfortunately, shortly after arriving, the French Revolution started.
Oh, shoot.
Bad timing. And he ended up being a prisoner during the French Revolution. But, as weird luck would have it, he was prisoned in a repurposed cognac chateau. Yeah, Chateau de Jarn. And whilst imprisoned there, he met the daughter of said cognac chateau.
Okay.
And when the revolution subsided a little bit and they were allowed back out, he actually took over. After marrying the daughter. And when he took over, he renamed it after himself.
As one does.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's really interesting. It's the official... does it have the Queen's seal on still? Yeah, right at the top. I didn't even notice before until I read. That's the appointment of Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II. So the official supplier of cognac for the royal family. Apparently that's still the case even after the Queen's passing. King Charles still enjoys this cognac house. And they actually ship the cognac and mature it in cellars in Bristol, I think it was.
Oh, no way.
Bristol. Bristol, for those who don't know, is not particularly known as a place to visit. It's a place to live for some people, and it's not a place many people would say, hey, you should go to Bristol. I think of it as almost the Nanaimo of England, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Sick burn on Nanaimo. Sorry, I love Nanaimo. I had to.
Get him.
Nanaimo's a strange place, isn't it? Like, I feel like I'm in Nanaimo for like 2 hours. Every time I drive to Courtney, it's like, now we're into Nanaimo. And I'm still in Nanaimo for absolutely ages. Yeah. It's just a long, skinny city.
Truly is.
Anyway, let's crack open the Hine, shall we?
Cool.
This one does have a cork, so
Nice.
we'll pause for the pop. Ooh, that's a good one.
That was a good one.
Ah,
Thank you.
you're very welcome. So this is a blend of eau de vie from Petit Champagne and Grand Champagne, for those keeping track of appellations of micro-appellations of cognac. I get so much orange rind on the nose of this one. It's really pleasing. It's very Christmassy. Apparently, I accidentally chose two very seasonally appropriate spirits here.
Shoot.
I know. Next month, by the way, just in time for Christmas, there will be some rums, and one of them will be a particularly good deal just in time for Christmas. So don't stock up on your Christmas rum just yet. Still Explorers has your back. We've got a hell of a deal coming your way soon.
Nice.
So this is known in the cognac world as one of the holdouts of the old style of cognac. There's a movement these days for a really crisp, clean cognac. And most of the big houses do exactly that. However, these guys, as they're a bit of a holdout, they like the traditional, they like their a term called rancio, which just came up actually when I was describing the Amroot in a video with Brett a couple of minutes ago in real time. Rancio is one of those hard to describe flavor notes. Many people who are familiar with Springbank and Ben Roma know what I mean with this one. It's that almost funkiness. I often describe it as, imagine walking into your summer cabin in May and no one's been in it since September.
Okay.
You know, everything's a little bit musty, a little
stale,
dusty, slightly stale, but kind of in an endearing, safe way. You know.
Yeah.
It's not an off-putting thing at all. It's a thing. It's like the aroma of nostalgia almost.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that is something that the old school cognac and Armagnac houses used to chase, and it's not as much of a thing anymore, and it's very much still present in Hine. Hindsight. It's, yeah. It's much more subdued, relaxed, complex than the Torres, if we are to do a side-by-side of the two.
Bit fruitier.
Yeah, a little more light fruits. The Torres is much more like dried fruits, like almost maybe tinned fruits. This is like fresh, a little zesty. It's got that orange, but it's also got like maybe apple and pear, I think. Yeah. Apparently, I really like that Torres. I kind of finished mine. I was going to do a side-by-side. I've got a drop left. Hang on. Oh, the Torres is so much sweeter. And after having the Hine, it's almost licoricey.
Oh, yeah.
So, if the Torres is the free spirit, you might have already caught on if you're a club member and you know how these things work, that the Hine is our premium spirit this month. So, from the time of this video launching for approximately a month, you can spin on over to the Strath and ask for a sample of this. $3 will get you a sample of this Hine. And we will pour you a sample, and you can do a little scorecard, hang around, you can do some shopping, you can browse around.
Just hang out.
You can enjoy our newly reconfigured front area.
Yeah.
It's all changed. If you've not been in the last week, it's all slightly different. The fridge is on the other side.
Don't ruin the surprise.
Oh, there's more than that. I quite like it.
It's
I've
very
got to admit,
nice.
it's quite pleasant. Yeah, hopefully you guys come and enjoy it. Hine, even if you can't come and have a sample, even if you're on the other side of the country perhaps and you want to do some shopping online, you can still take advantage of the Still Explorers discount. And if you're not a member, you can sign up for free online. Every featured spirit that we ever put out in this club gets 10% off for all members. And that actually includes right now all of the entrants of the two tournaments. They are currently all featured spirits. So all 8 of the featured tournament of tequilas and tournament of rum entrants are available, as are these two, and as are still, of course, the 2 orange liqueurs from last month. Right now, you can get this regular price at $95.57. Sale price 10% off, $86.01. Nice. Pretty damn good for a cognac these days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever VSOP stands for, it's a damn good version of one. The H by Hine. Cheers. I think an excellent little spirit, and we'll see you on the next video.